Well, we bring heat race number 1 to the Speedway tonight. Heat race number 1 presented by FK Rod-Ends. 10 laps the distance. Top 4 will transfer to the main event. As we're going to roll them around a couple of laps here. Jonathan Davenport, Dustin Sorensen, your front row as the last of the crews make their way to the infield. And let's get track a little bit slimy. Give a shout out to our friends Gunnar and Julie Sullivan. They got those tasty ribeye sandwiches they're making back around Fairbury, Illinois. They'll have those at Falls later this year when we're there for One for the Road and the Castrol Flow Racing Night in America, as well as the Prairie Dirt Classic. We appreciate Gunnar and Julie and the gang checking in. Huge supporters of what we wanted, of everything that we do. And so many people are tonight. Lance Matthews tuned in. He noticed that it must be warmer, Dustin, because you didn't have your sweatshirt on yet. I think everybody's noticed that you get colder faster than anybody. And also want to mention the fine folks from Total Ag Solutions. Carlin, his dad Gordon, everybody checking in, and we appreciate them sponsoring our pit parties, as we got a lot of great sponsors that can't be here, but they're able to watch at Flow Racing, and we're glad they can at least stay live with everything that's happening.
Absolutely. As oh my, James Webster comes around over here in front of me on the back straightaway, but Lance Matthews usually makes the trip down here, Ben, to spectate and watch, so we need to get him back down here. Also, real quick shout out to Todd Staley, who celebrated a birthday a couple days ago. Of course, we've talked about
72. He was 72.
Yes, wow. No media credentials for you at USMTS races this year. Now, Todd has just done great stuff with USMTS and USRA and a bunch of other things, and I know he's watching back home. $70,000 to win the USMTS Modified Championship this year, man. And I think I'm going to get the number wrong. I think 24, 26 races, that pay $10,000 or more to win. That's awesome, man. That is good stuff. He's got a great series, and Todd and Janet and Ryan, that whole bunch, just fantastic people.
Well, there's 5 USMTS championships on row number 2 of this one between Rodney Sanders and Johnny Scott, but the front row is Jonathan Davenport and Dustin Sorensen. The yellow lights are down on the speedway. We'll come around to the C&D bonding green flag. FK Rod-Ends late model heat race number 1. Oh, a little beating and banging on the front row. That opens the door for Sanders. Down the front straightaway. Sanders to the inside of Davenport as Sorensen and Davenport got together. Davenport up the track. Sanders to the lead. Davenport back to second. Now Davenport shoots to the inside of Rodney Sanders off into 3 and 4. Can he get the slider? He'll slide up. Oh, maybe. Almost a little bit of contact. Maybe not. Either way, Jonathan Davenport leads lap number 1. Rodney Sanders in second. And now play again, not the NASCAR driver. Dustin Sorensen tried to get to Rodney Sanders as the Midwest Sheet Metal caution flag waves. And the 1ST of Johnny Scott has gone around. And Dustin, the difference some track prep can make, as we got a cowboy up racetrack right now with Jonathan Davenport leading with 1 down, 9 to go.
That was a wild lap and a half that we saw.
Oh my goodness!
That we saw right there from Sorensen and JD. Rubbing a little bit, coming around for the green flag, to Rodney Sanders shooting into the lead, to the power move that Superman just made to retake the lead from Rodney Sanders down in turns 3 and 4. And if that is any indication as to what we're going to see, you are going to have 4 highly entertaining heat races ahead of you.
And I knew it would happen at some point this weekend. It took until the final night for me to say Reed Sorensen instead of Dustin Sorensen, but it did happen. It happens.
Well, there was that time at the Gateway Dirt Nationals that announcing with you up top and then Blake Anderson in the infield, I believe I threw it down to Blake Shelton one time.
You did. The ladies were trying to storm the pinfield, and I was busy looking for Gwen Stefani. I was like, well, Blake's here. She's here. Race fans, get the 50-50 tickets. Almost $2,000 was given away last night, and we've got a bigger crowd tonight than we had last night, which I didn't think I would be saying today. Get your 50-50 tickets as Jonathan Davenport brings us back to the green flag. Pull the belts tight because it's cowboy up right now in the desert. FK Rod-Ends heat race number 1 back underway. 9 to go. Top 4 to the feature. It's Davenport, Sanders, Sorensen, and back in the 4 spot. Here comes McGrath, and now Landers joins the battle, and Sorensen back to 5th. Up to 3rd will be McGrath. In the 4 spot, it continues to be Landers as Sorensen's on the outside looking in. Jonathan Davenport out in front in car number 49. Rodney Sanders holds on to the 2nd spot. McGrath in 3rd. Meanwhile, Sorensen took 4th away from Landers. Landers said, you know what, give it back to me. He'll take it off into turns 3 and 4. Landers with a slider. Sorensen turns back down the hill. Heck of a battle right now for that position as Kyle Beard is off the pace in car 86. Kyle Beard slows out of turn number 4, the Truman, Arkansas driver, and he is going to draw the Midwest Sheet Metal caution. He may have a flat tire on car number 86. Does Kyle Beard. As we have 4 complete, 6 down, and Kyle Beard is going to head to the attention of crew chief Gary Beard in the infield. We're going to stay green as Beard went to the inside. Thought we were going to see Midwest Sheet Metal caution. We did not. Beard out of the party tonight as his bad luck continues in this finale. Jonathan Davenport leads down the back straightaway. He's got half a straightaway advantage over Sanders. Sanders has got more than a half over McGrath. McGrath's got a half over Sorensen, who sits in fourth. Landers in fifth. Back in the sixth spot, it's Gunnar Frank. Not Gunnar Sullivan. Gunnar Frank rides in the sixth spot. Behind him at seventh, it's Johnny Scott. In eighth, it's Clausen. Whistler still smoking from earlier tonight. 7 down, 3 to go, and Brody Montgomery is going to be caught by Jonathan Davenport off into 1 and 2. Montgomery will go down a lap in this heat as we work down the back straightaway. Racing back to 2 laps to go. Blistering pace right now, 15.216. The fastest lap Davenport's turning this one. We're turning laps close to what we qualified. Now down in the 15.1s, and we're definitely right at what we qualified on. As Davenport shoots off the top at 2 down the back straightaway. If he can win tonight, $25,000 to the winner, $10,000 bonus from Kaiser. If you win 3 in the mini-series, he and Turbo both have a chance, and right now the white flag waves. All 4 heat race winners go into the Schaefer's Oil redraw for the Gorsuch Performance Solutions pole position for tonight's 50-lap finale. Through turns 3 and 4, Davenport steps to the outside of James Webster. He'll go around Regal. He takes the win. Davenport wins. Heat 1, Rodney Sanders in second. Third will go to McGrath. Fourth to Sorensen. Fifth will go to Jared Landers. He heads to the B main. He takes Gunnar Frank with him. Johnny Scott, Larry Clausen, Jim Whistler, and Tyler Regal. Taking your fourth and final transfer in Heat 1 out of Rochester, Minnesota, Dustin Sorensen in the 19. In third, it's Mitch McGrath in the 74 out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. In second, Rodney Sanders out of Happy, Texas in car 20. And your winner out of Blairsville, Georgia, Superman Jonathan Davenport in the Nutrient Ag Solutions, Spartan Mowers, ASC Warranty, Bill Stein, Midwest Sheet Metal, VP Racing Fuels, Mega Plumbing of the Carolinas, Lucas Oil, Clements Powered Longhorn, the Lance Landers Racing, number 49. And he's rolling down to you, Dustin.
Well, Jonathan Davenport told us last night that he maybe was not aggressive enough. He mentioned that he was only running half throttle. He was trying to save his tires just a little bit, and that was one thing that he learned in last night's race. And so now, after learning that last night, JD, the question is, you said you weren't aggressive enough early on last night. Did you learn that and apply? Tell these guys not to be so loud out here. Did you learn last night to be maybe a little more aggressive in tonight's main event to get that bonus and the win?
Yeah, I guess I didn't hear what you said there at first, but yeah, like I said last night, I knew what to do to my tire now. I think so we'll be better to go for the 50 laps, but the racetrack was really slimy right there. As soon as I hit the gas, I spun right into the guy. I hated for him, and then Rodney got into me, and I tried to slide him. I don't know what happened there, but just we started about 2 laps too early there. Now I got a tore up race car I got to go fix.
All right, Jonathan Davenport says he's got a little work to do to this race car, Ben, after the track was just a tad slimier than he thought in Heat 1.
All right, Heat number 2, Hoker Trucking Heat 2. It's Brian Shirley and Tyler Erb on the front row. Row 2 is Billy Moyer and Chris Simpson. Row 3 is Tony Toast and Terry Phillips. Row 4, Steve Stoltz and Chase Allen. Row 5, Brian Bowman and Cody Cantonwine. In the back row, Tim Lance and Blair Nodorf. As we go 10 more laps, 4 more to the feature, winner to the redraw. It's Squirrel and Turbo on the front row, and we're underway. Brian Shirley takes that Bobcon Racing 3S into turns 1 and 2. He'll lead them out of 2 down the back straightaway. Turbo in second, Moyer in third. Terry Phillips bounces off the wall up in turn number 2. We stay clean and green, though. Right now in the 4 spot, it's Papage. Here comes Chase Allen, 3 wide for that spot. He can't quite make it stick as Moyer holds on to third at the line. Now Chase Allen does take fourth. Tony Toast rides back in fifth. Toast goes to work down low. Stoltz right behind him as they start to work that low groove in. We've seen the drivers pounding the top side. A few drivers getting down low in this one, and right now it's Squirrel in the 3S. And he is on the run. 3 wins in the desert last year, has yet to win this year. Could change all of that here tonight to the tune of $25,000 if he can win tonight's 50-lapper in the Shaw Trucking 50, presented by Premier Waste Services. Brian Shirley, Tyler Erb, Billy Moyer, Chase Allen in fourth, but now Tony Toast goes to work on the 130. That's the battle on the speedway as they work through turns 1 and 2. Meanwhile, you see Squirrel coming into your living room off into 3 and 4. Been a tough week for Brian Shirley. He's been fast, just has not had the finish he'd like to show for it as Toast continues to pressure Chase Allen for the transfer. Steve Stoltz out of the party down the back straightaway. He'll try to be main later tonight. As now Chris Simpson goes around Toast through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. You see Brian Shirley leading Tyler Erb, Billy Moyer, Chase Allen in fourth. That's the battle right now. Chris Simpson on the move. as he pulls to the inside of Tony Toast, and he sets his sights on the fourth and final transfer, Chase Allen. Chris Simpson to the inside of Toast, down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, your leader's starting to encounter the back of the pack as they complete lap number 6. 6 on the board, 4 to go. Brian Shirley, Tyler Erb, Billy Moyer, they've checked out, but right now the Hornets nest for 4th. Tony Toast in the 91 to the inside of Chase Allen. He takes 4th out of turn 2. Allen looked to battle back. Now Chris Simpson reels him in, starts to battle with him. Terry Phillips watching it all unfold as Chase Allen caught the concrete down the back straightaway, and the 130 broke something, and he is out of it. The Texan has broke something, and he's going to try to gas her up, but something not right on that race car. He'll stay on the track. Meanwhile, we got one hard into the turn 4 wall, and that'll be Cody Cantonwine. Wow, action everywhere right now as the driver coming to us out of Fort Lupton, Colorado, hard into the turn 4 wall in that next-gen GRT hybrid race car. Dustin, I don't know who's breathing harder, those guys out there or me trying to keep up with everything that's happening, because these guys are circling this place at a breakneck pace.
Yeah, these guys are really turning some impressive laps around there. And we'll have to go back to the last fully scored lap. I see Chase Allen maybe trying to work his way back up, but I got a feeling maybe that was a scored lap. But and if it was, that's a tough break for Chase Allen, who is turning his first lap spin in open motor competition. I was talking to him in the pit area a little earlier on, and I said, man, you've been pretty good out here this week. I said, you've run well. And he said, man, he's tickled to death with how well we've been running, especially given the quality of competition. And he said this was, great racing. He said it might be one thing, but to come out here his first laps in an open motor, he said he is tickled to death with the way he has ran and the way that car is handled.
Now, he's done great. It was almost like he caught the wall down the back straightaway.
He did.
And the car kind of laid down after that. So I got to wonder, maybe he's got a bent shock or something on that 130. Tough break. 7 laps down, 3 to go. Brian Shirley leads the way. In second, Tyler Erb. Billy Moyer in third. Tony Toast in fourth. Now Chris Simpson on the outside looking in. Check this out, Dustin. You've got Hanging with Hoker in the infield, of course, with the great Jeff Hoker, big sponsor of this event. He told me he has put a bonus up tonight, $1,000 to the cars he sponsors. That is Brian Shirley. That is Jason Fager. That is Ricky Thornton Jr. That is Chris Simpson. If any of those drivers can win here tonight, and as he said, stop the Turbo and Davenport Rampage, he's going to give them an extra $1,000. So if those guys win, they get $26,000. Man, Jeff Hoker, that guy does a lot to support racing. We really appreciate everything he does.
That's awesome. Just another person that gives back to the sport. Jeff Hoker and Hoker Trucking. Very, very cool stuff, man. I did not know that.
Yeah, those 4 plus Bobby Pierce, all 5. He's got, and that's another thing. Let's think about that. He is sponsoring 5 race cars here this weekend. As we said, you got Fager, you got Pierce, you got Simpson. I mean, all these Thornton Jr., Shirley, and he's putting up extra money after he already sponsors them. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, really cool. He's sponsoring those drivers, and again, as you mentioned, he's sponsoring the event as well. Of course, he's been the sponsor of Victory Lane here for a while. He's sponsoring the checkered flag. Just unbelievable support from Jeff Hoker and all the great folks that are partners with us here at FK Rod Ends Arizona Speedway for the Kaiser Manufacturing Wild West Shootout presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dustin, if we get a little time later, we may have to get a shot of that Hanging with Hoker area if it'll work.
Well, I teased him on social media earlier, Ben. I stopped down there, and he wasn't down there yet, and so I took
he was signing autographs.
Well, that's obvious. Yeah, he signs a lot more than you and I do. He may have been out looking for boats for all we know too. But he told me that he wasn't quite down there yet, but to stop back down, and that he would be down there in the Hanging with Hoker area.
Well, we're gonna get a 110 plug-in next year, and there will be a jacuzzi in the Hanging with Hoker. What we're talking about behind Hoker Trucking Victory Lane, we created something new this year called Hanging with Hoker. We've got a pop-up tent. There's a bar down there. There's recliners. There's a TV. There's all kinds of stuff happening down there. As it started as a joke, and now he is down there. And we even created his own backdrop. He was wanting us to flip Victory Lane and the backdrop he has that I created, but it's not quite family friendly. So we're going to keep it pointed toward the infield, but it is Hoker friendly. As we're going to wave off this start, as trying to get him back underway, possibly some debris on the racetrack. With 7 down, 3 to go. Second of 4 dirt track bank super late model heats.
Ben, right now Tony Toast is in that final transfer spot. He and Jason Papich were in the pit area earlier, and I just shouted a quick word at him as I went by, and I said, "Hey Tony," I said, "tell Jason to let you start having some fun and work your way into the show here." And they both laughed, and Tony said, "That'd be nice." And Jason, very quick-witted, kind of snapped back and said, "Ain't no chance of that happening." He said, "I'm running too good right now." But good to see Tony Toast, again, a longtime supporter of this event. He and Papich both right now in that final transfer spot in the 91T.
Yes, sir. And what is holding things up is, I believe, getting Canton Wine's car off. They were stopped right outside the track exit, and they're having to adjust the way they hooked up to that car. He hit that wall a ton. We saw a little while ago on the FK Rod Ends instant replay. And tough break for the Colorado driver, his debut at the Wild West Shootout. It's been tumultuous over the past few days, and it very likely has come to an end, as it looks like that is now rolling. So we're going to turn the Midwest Sheet Metal yellow lights out. Our buddy Mike Norris, the voice of Falls, checking in. Jason Markowitz from back in Alabama. He said, "This is a Rusty Schlenk kind of track." He ain't wrong. And Jim and Dina Long checking in from back in North Carolina. We appreciate you all watching as we're back underway. And it's up to Brian Shirley. 3 more laps. He wants to go to that Schaefer's Oil redraw for the Gorsuch Performance Solutions pole position. Turbo's got other ideas. Here comes the 1 car. Couple of good friends right now battling it out for the lead. Back in 3rd, it's Moyer side by side for 4th. Simpson's going to work on the top side of the racetrack. Toast down low. Who's going to have 4th at the line? It's still Toast. 2 laps to sort this one out. And still side by side for the lead out of 2 down the back straightaway. Shirley holds on to it. Turbo in 2nd. Moyer comfortably in 3rd. Toast holds on to 4th. He's got 3 drivers trying to get around him as back in behind him. Oh, Phillips hard into the wall as the left rear of that number 75 smacks the concrete. And we're going to see the Midwest Sheet Metal caution flag come out. Oh, man, hard lick for that number 75 car. Bad break, and that draws the caution. We'll see a green and white scenario when we go back, a 1-lap dash of a checkers, as Chris Simpson, maybe not too happy with Tony Toast, pulls up alongside of him. Wow. Well, tough break. Phillips, they were all trying to get that 4th transfer spot, and I don't know if you saw it, Dustin, but Terry Phillips slapped the rear of that race car, right rear, into that wall. And you hope no terminal damage on that entry, as he's going to go off on the hook, as we see the FK Rod Ends instant replay. And yeah, right rear quarter panel caught the concrete, brought the front end around. And you see it a million times when that happens. Usually you lose some spindles, maybe an upper and lower on that right front, and you hope that you didn't knock the rear end out of it.
Yeah, you lose some sped for sure. That's a tough break. I know we were talking at the house earlier about almost off the record. We were talking about how good it was to see Terry Phillips run well last night, win that heat race, and make his way into the show. And we talked about Papich and Toast being longtime staples of this event. Terry Phillips undoubtedly fits the bill from way back in the early days of the Wild West Shootout. So to see him get a heat race win last night was sentimentally, it kind of made you feel good, and very much to that same tone, sentimentally, you hate to see him go off on the hook like that. Just a tough break for the recently entered Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer.
How about in the past 3 laps? And Jason up here, I got to give him credit. He points it out. Past 3 laps, 2 different 75s have hammered that turn 4 wall, as it is not being very kind to the 75 cars. We saw Canton Wine go into the wall, and now Phillips. Talked to Phillips earlier today. I said, "How do you like the new Capitol?" And he goes, "Man, really?" He goes, "I'm really starting to figure it out and get a feel for it." Of course, he's been a black diamond the past several years. Before that, he was in a Team Zero race car, and now old TP, Ozark Hall of Famer and National Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer, being towed off. Tough break. He'll be starting on the back of one of those B mains tonight. A long way to go. Crazier things have happened here at this racetrack, as we are going to have 1 to go in every sense of the word. The Midwest Sheet Metal yellow lights are turned out, and we're going to come back to the green flag in 1 lap, and we're going to have a 1-lap dash to the checkers. And Dustin, Chris Davis from Midwest Sheet Metal said if Terry Phillips, well, he's not going to, can win tonight, he would buy him 3 McRibs, but he'll also put one on the table for JD, RTJ, Turbo, or Papich. No McRibs for you and I, though, my friend. As we come back to the green flag out of 4, back underway. Keep an eye on Moyer back there in 3rd. He's going to try to get ahead of steam and come after Turbo for position number 2. Moyer to the inside of Tyler Earp through 1 and 2. Turbo up top. Moyer down low. Toast rides in 4th. Down the back straightaway. They'll come back to the checkered flag. Out of turn number 4, Turbo the slider on Moyer. Moyer turns back down the hill. Shirley takes the win. Who's going to get 2nd? Drag race to the line. Billy Moyer gets 2nd. Tyler Erb in 3rd. Tony Toast was in 4th. That one was worth the price of a McRib right there. Taking the fourth and final transfer, Tony Toast out of Arroyo Grande, California in the 91. In third, Tyler Erb out of New Waverly, Texas. In second, Billy Moyer out of Batesville, Arkansas. And your winner, Brian Shirley out of Chatham, Illinois. The Bob Cullen Racing, Hoker Trucking, Thompson Express, J&J Ventures and Gaming, Kids Castle Learning Center, KBC Graphics, Cheap Cars and Integra, Rocket XR1, Durham, number 3S.
Your defending Dirt Car Summer Nationals champion, Brian Shirley, a 3-time winner here 1 year ago. And simply put, things have just not gone his way so far this week. But I got a feeling that a $25,000 payday at the end of tonight's Shaw Trucking finale would certainly help the Chatham, Illinois driver as he takes the helmet off. Brian, we were just saying, after the week that you've had, a $25,000 payday tonight would certainly help things, wouldn't it?
Yeah, anytime you can, get out here and put yourself in the right position to, get some big money, be good for our team. We still got a long month to go, so we're hoping to put a good race in tonight, maybe get lucky enough to get the win, and then head to Florida.
All right, there you have it. Brian Shirley looking for the win here tonight.
Well, if Shirley can win tonight, $25,000 from FK Ride-Ins Arizona Speedway and $1,000 from Jeff Hoker. It'd be a $26,000 payday. As we get set now for Pro Power Racing Engines Heat Race number 3, it's Ricky Thornton Jr. and Rusty Schlenk on the front row. Row 2, Mike Marlar and Garrett Alberson. Row 3, Trevor Gundaker and Chad Olson. Row 4 will be Jason Fager and Steve Hukowski.